Mommy. Gee, Daddy, what did you do when America fell into a fascist police state? Oh, I don't know, dear. I was helping enforce it.
Hi, kiddies. I'm Frogman PDX, and welcome to Weird-Landia. You may remember me from last year's episode of Weird-Landia, when I spoke to local street performers, Unipiper, Dingo and Olive, and Extreme of the Clown. Now, over the years, I've been involved in a lot of different protests in this city. I was involved in Occupy Portland, March Against Monsanto, and the Water Fluoridation debacle, and a lot more. Now, through attending these protests, I've met lots of cool people that are fighting to make the world a better place. They're trying to keep the environment clean and demanding more accountability from our local and federal governments. So I thought we'd hop around and meet some of those individuals. But before that, why don't we swing by Washington Park and check out LoveBomb Go-Go?
You know, I'm seeing you guys around at all the, I'm seeing you a bunch at all the protests, March Against Monsanto.
That's right, we were
World
there.
Naked Bike Run, so you had the fluoride thing.
The Oregon Marriage Equality Victory Party, the fundraiser, the impromptu 75-person marriage, and lots of other stuff too.
What is the mission of LoveBomb Go-Go? It seems like you're a marching band with a mission.
To encapsulate it in one simple phrase, we are out for world betterment. Through various modalities, certainly just performing, we raise awareness, we bring more people to events, or we make events livelier. But even the content within, the lyrical content within our vocal tunes, and even the harmonic choices that we make in the music are geared towards empowerment, towards enlightenment, towards white light. Dropping LoveBomb on every street corner. Right, LoveBomb?
Yeah. All right, Peacock in the Park. You wanted the best. You got the best. The sexiest marching band in the universe. It's the LoveBomb Go-Go Marching Band.
What are you doing?
Oh, hey! I'm just representing my new sponsorship.
What?
Yeah, I'm sponsored by Monsanto now.
You're sponsored by Monsanto?
Oh, yeah, I figured I was talking about Monsanto enough, might as well start making that money, girl. Dollar bills, y'all.
Don't you have any conviction?
Disorderly conduct, criminal mischief, nothing serious.
No, I mean, don't you think you should live up to your own standards?
Well, I don't really have any standards, but look, I think it's fascinating when people do. Just fascinating. Like you, for instance. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself? What do you gotta do to put together a huge march? Thousands of people.
Well, it takes a lot of work, actually. I mean, you have to organize on social media, get the word out, make plans with the city officials, have meetings with the police, get permits, line up speakers and bands. Portland has got a huge activist population. Like, we're very involved in what goes on in our community, from the fight against fluoride in our water to saving the reservoirs to what we eat. It's like the part in Weird-Landia, what's the chicken's name, and going to visit the park. Well, it's okay to care where chicken came from. That's still part of being proactive against GMOs. And I think that builds bonds between people in different sectors of the community. Like, I've met so many different people that I would have never met through activism.
So is that something you're really into? You think you'll do it again next year if we don't get this next thing passed through on the ballot?
The labeling initiative?
Right, they're gonna label GMO, we got it on the ballot. Now if that doesn't pass, do you think you're gonna keep up the efforts or maybe move on to something else?
Well, let's hope it passes and that I don't have to do another march against Monsanto. I mean, I don't particularly want to continue to do this same event year after year. I think it loses momentum. It would be nice to have the labeling pass and then that's done. I'm going to move on to other things. I currently work in video production and make movies, and I'd like to make social justice and political documentaries to help educate people rather than holding protests.
Oh, hey, Tiffany, thanks for talking with us today.
You're welcome. Your nose is bleeding.
Oh yeah, that's the Roundup, it does that.
Yeah, it also kills bees.
It sure does, Tiffany. Roundup, brought to you by Monsanto.
Ugh, I'm out of here.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, we better get to Mount Tabor.
One of the founders and one of the steering committee members of 15 Now PDX. So we've been working for the last, I guess, about 6 months since we started to try and bring a $15 an hour minimum wage here to Portland and also to Oregon, to the whole state in general. We've had weekly actions at City Hall, we've spoken in front of City Council, we've turned in over 1,000 signatures to City Council. I helped organize the No War in Syria protests here in Portland. I helped start the No Walmart in Tigard protests. We were trying to keep Walmart from building a superstore in Tigard. Unfortunately, we failed. But the city of Portland has recently divested from Walmart. I participated in the marches against Monsanto. I think that's not even just about labeling food, which is important, but Monsanto, I think, is very much kind of the face of oligarchy in this country. They're at both the federal and the state level. They're in our government. Their former employees or current employees are regularly appointed to presidential cabinet posts. The water fluoridation fight. We stopped water fluoridation here in our city with a 61% vote, and since then we've seen cities and states from Washington and California to Tennessee, Michigan, Virginia, Missouri, all over the country that have either refused to fluoridate their water or have stopped fluoridating their water and cleaned their water systems out. And I don't think that that's a coincidence. Our fight here was seen on TV stations across the country. Nowadays, activism really is community. We live in a society that is overly individualistic, where people are isolated, people have become disillusioned and disenfranchised by the political system. And in a society like that, really simple things just like getting to know your neighbors, or growing your own food and sharing it with people, things that build community and involve a person in community and help strengthen community. Those are activism, and in a lot of ways the most important kind of activism, because community is something that we're really lacking in our capitalist society, and it's something that needs to be rebuilt and strengthened.
Jessie Sponberg. He's the host of Fight Church. It's a weekly late night talk show at Cadigan's Corner every Monday night. You should go check it out. He also hosts an annual event called Food Wars, where he raises canned food for low-income families. Now, when Jessie heard that the water reservoirs here at Mount Tabor were to be decommissioned, he rallied a bunch of local activists, and they occupied Mount Tabor. They held an event called Camp Cascadia, where they held it down, they rabble-roused it. It was a failure, but a noble attempt. So let's go talk to Jessie and see what he has to say.
Yeah. Oh, let's go. What's Food Wars all about, Jessie?
Food Wars is a place where we all come together, but the results of all of our efforts all go to children.
How much canned food did he raise this last Food Wars, Jessie? How much canned food did he
9,000! 9,000! Yeah, you guys, come on.
Hey,
who do you think's more awesome, me or Frogman? Come on.
I like Frogman.
Frogman, everybody.
Hey! Tell us a little something about Food Wars.
Now, are you a good guy or bad guy? Nobody knows. What the fuck is that?
That's...
Keep videotaping that guy. My point. Look at that. You don't know nothing! There's a point!
No, there was no point! There was no point! You yelled at a jogger! Yelling at a jogger! You're draining it. Putting up some high-rises.
And you know, here's the thing. So they keep a little water in it to keep everybody happy. But here's the thing. In the 90s, they sold the reservoir down there to a developer. And now that shit is like a 300 apartment complex for old people. So when they say they're not going to touch this, you can't believe that, because there's nothing better. If you took these two spots right now and built a 500 complex apartment building, and then you go down here, and this is all parking right here.
Oh God!
All of this is parking.
This is a nightmare.
Joe Glicker, you dirty son of a bitch! Nobody has ever done the city of Portland as dirty as you did.
Okie dokie, well we had to stop the interview with Jessie Sponberg at that time because me and him wanted to wrestle in the grass. But I think it's worth noting that when Jessie is not day drunk and pissed off about the water reservoirs, he attends various protests and charitable events. Now in the winter 2013, Portland was frozen over, Mayor Charlie Hales and the Portland police criminalizing homelessness. So Jessie led an angry mob with pitchforks and torches down to City Hall to help raise awareness that the police were brutalizing some of the city's most vulnerable. He was also handing out free hot soup. He also filled up a dump truck full of clothes and dropped it on Burnside for the homeless. But he didn't stop there. In November, Jessie ran as a write-in candidate for sheriff when he realized that the sheriff was running unopposed. Now, he almost gathered 4% of the vote. It's not bad not being on the ballot. And, you know, maybe he'll run for mayor next year. So keep an eye out for Jessie Sponberg. And if you ever want to get a beer with the guy, stop by Cadigan's Corner on Monday nights and check out his show Fight Church.
You are the designer of the Doug flag, the Cascadian flag. So, one question, what gave you the idea for Cascadian flag? What does it mean to you? What does it represent?
As for secession, those people who tend to say, oh, I believe in secession and stuff like that, I used to push secession, I don't deny that. But they tend to still think of things in nation-state models, which is the old paradigm, what I would call the old paradigm, the paradigm of, you know, countries and arbitrary lines, military lines and stuff like that. But I would say that bioregionalism is much more radical, much more revolutionary, because it says, no, we need to drop all those lines. All those little, you know, borders like between Oregon and Washington or between British Columbia and Washington, those are human-made lines, and we need to drop them and start living within our ecosystems. So how's that sound?
I can dig it, man. You know, I'm not much of a cape guy, but
A lot of people wear as capes.
holy hell, I think I got a new cape.
I think you got a new cape.
Hey, Kim, what you doing?
Hey, Froggy. I'm just trying to to keep this stuff out of the water, they keep trying to put it in. Check it out. It's hydrofluosilicic acid. It's corrosive, and it says harmful or fatal if swallowed. Yeah, I thought this was your job.
No, no. People like you take care of the hard work, and I'll swoop in and take the credit. That's how I roll.
Right.
Which reminds me, can you just move over right over? Just back away. Just back away. Yeah, get a picture of that. Like that? Do I look cool? Yeah, cool. You can come back in. Sorry about that. I know it's kind of weird. It's just a thing I got. So enough about me. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
Well, my name's Kaminski, and I've been working on fluoridation and water issues since 2005 when I found out that they were going to try to mandate fluoridation on the statewide level. And I've been working on that ever since. And they have tried to mandate it every legislative session since 1999. And recently, in 2013, City Hall of Portland voted unanimously to put these chemicals into our drinking water. And they sell water to 19 different water districts, so it would affect everyone, even people that weren't allowed to vote for City Hall and people that weren't allowed to vote on the fluoridation. So we filed a referendum and got it on the ballot and defeated it by a 22% margin.
Why does it matter? Just put it in the water. Who cares?
Well, I got involved in this because there's some serious concerns about health effects, especially for vulnerable populations like infants, elderly, people with immune-compromised systems, diabetics, people with thyroid issues, and so on. So that's why I got involved with this. And plus the fact that people should have a choice about what they're drinking. And what happened here is that nobody was told. We didn't have an opportunity to have notice, and people didn't have a chance to present their hearings. It was really a done deal, and so it's a violation of the democratic process.
So are you putting in work on the GMO labeling initiative right here? Or?
I am. I've been helping to gather signatures for that. They gathered over 155,000 signatures. They needed roughly 88,000, so they really blew it out of the water. And right now I'm working on educating people and getting out the vote, so people have a right to know what's in their food.
What does it matter? Just give the people anything. It doesn't matter if they're gonna buy it, shovel it into their mouths, right?
Well, it's just like fluoridation chemicals. People deserve a choice. If you want to eat genetically modified organisms, you have that right and you can do that. But if I don't want to, I deserve to have a label on my food that lets me know what I'm eating.
Well, alright, well I think I'll just go hop around, maybe get a beer or something. Thanks for talking with me.
Sure.
Take care.
Hey, can you help me with this?
Sure, I said thanks for talking to me, Kim.
Right.
Bye.
Wait.
Figure it out, Kim.
It's heavy.
About a year ago, I co-founded an organization called Film the Police Portland, and the idea of the organization is that basically we go out and we film the police to keep them accountable. I want you to actually go to a protest. Go to a large protest like a NATO summit or a May Day protest someplace, and you will see what the police think of free speech.
So you'd suggest that anyone out there with the means go out there and shoot the police?
Absolutely. It's very important to shoot the police, pause, with a video camera.
Well, that
for joining us. I hope you learned something. Activism leads to community, leads to a better city, a better state, a better country. It's dominoes, all right? This is chess, not checkers. So get out there, get involved, occupy your mind, meet some cool people. Just do something. Get off the couch, yell out your window, turn off the TV, blow it up. I don't care. Just hit the streets. Let's have a revolution. Or whatever, or get on the internet and read some articles or something. Yo! It's Frogman! It is Frogman! No, it's Frogman! No one knows my name! They're still calling me Green Man, you hear that?